Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Midoriya Izuku. Midoriya Izuku. Midoriya would never truly scare you on purpose, and seeing you be scared of him was something that truly worried him. And for the most part, it just made him sad that you could be so scared of him when you only wanted you to be well. He never meant to be aggressive towards you in any way, and only wanted to see you happy. So for you to be so afraid, well, it made him guilty. It was because of a fight, and maybe things had escalated and he was unable to focus on what he was saying or what he was doing. So when he yells one more time and sees you flinch back, he realizes how wrong things went. Wayan, I I didn't mean to frighten you. I promise, he says, and you can tell he's sincerely sorry. But that doesn't exactly erase the damage that's been done now, does it? So, you completely ignore it and shake your head. Midoriya, I need some time alone right now. What you said and the way you were acting, it hurt me. So I just need some time. He looked at you, and you could tell he was panicking inside, but he only nodded, deciding that it was your decision, and you could not try to interfere with it. I'm sorry, Wayan. That's all I can really say. He murmured gently, and then he let you leave, knowing that chasing after you or trying to talk now would not be a good option, considering that you just wanted some space and some time off alone to be able to think and decide what stance you were going to take on this, and just how angry you were at him. And even if you weren't by the end of it somehow, he was still angry at himself for scaring you and hurting you in the first place, because he knows he should not ever do that, no matter how things got tough, and no matter how he may get so stressed. It should never get to that, and he will try. He promised himself that he will do better from now on. Todoroki Shoto. Todoroki could be scary sometimes to others, even if he was simply just existing and being there. But that's because you didn't know him well. You couldn't read him like you did. But it seems that even in your relationship and how soft he always was with you, things are bound to, you know, get a little bit tense sometimes, even though Todoroki really tried to avoid it. But it was normal. It happened sometimes. He just didn't know you'd be so terrified when he got angry at you, and realized just how powerful he was, how he could hurt you if he wanted to, and the idea alone scared you, not because you thought he would, but the idea and the fact that it was so possible and so easy for him. It terrified you to no end. And that's exactly why when Todoroki saw the fear on your face, he just stopped and winced. Moyan, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to do anything that you wouldn't want. I didn't mean to frighten you or make you uncomfortable. He says, all the anger and whatever he was thinking of just melting away from his mind as he focused on you, concerned. And though you nodded and you understood every single word he was saying, it still stuck with you. But then when you opened his arms, you found yourself letting out a sigh of relief and going into them. Maybe for a moment your mind tricked you, but you knew Todoroki well. You knew he would never hurt you, no matter how things got so far in your conversation, and no matter how angry he may get. He loved you beyond that, and most importantly, he would never repeat the same mistake as his father again. He would never hurt you. He would never ruin your life. Both of your lives. over something so insignificant as an argument. And no matter how significant it may get, he will never hurt you at all. And you trusted him on that. Bakugou Katsuki. You knew Katsuki's past with Midoriya, and that's what told you how he could not be a nice person. To everyone, at the very least. And though you thought he was always kind to you, and he would always be because he was a hero, you had to acknowledge that past of his, and that it simply would not be erased, and it wouldn't be changed. Not in the future, not if he didn't make an active effort to work on himself and to improve. And from the looks of it, there was not a lot of effort that was being put in, and you were tired, sick of what you had to go through over and over. And that's what spurred the fight in the first place. The two of you arguing over his manners, the way he would talk down to you sometimes, just because you disagreed over something. It hurt you, and he knew you were not willing to stay in a relationship where you were constantly degraded like that. So that's why you stood up to him, and that's what started the fight. And amidst all of his anger, Katsuki started yelling, and then he clenched his fists and took a step towards you, and you instinctively flinched. What were you going to do? You said, as he stopped and paused, looking at you in a way that you saw realization spark through his eyes. I wasn't going to do anything. You were going to hit me. I saw you. You were going to hit me, Katsuki, just because you didn't like the way I spoke to you. Can you imagine? I put up with you all this time, all these years, and you just can't put up with me for maybe a second or two. When I speak to you like that, you scoff, and though you're afraid of him, you're still brave and you're not going to back down. But Katsuki ends the argument there, telling you it's not the time, that you were not in a state to be talked with, and he wanted to avoid you now. It was a way for him to avoid the truth, and avoid the fact that he was going to have a lot to deal with, and a lot to talk about too. He, at the very least, acknowledged that he was somewhat bad to you, even horrible at times, in his own mind, and it would be about time that he's able to deal with it and work on it if your relationship was to continue anytime soon.